Hey, welcome to the Strong Roots podcast. My name is Kristen Hill, and we are so excited that you're tuning in today. Our prayer is that you would move one step closer to Jesus through this series. So go ahead and check out this next episode. Hey, Strong Roots, we are in our God Story season, and I am so excited to be here with Patty. She loves Jesus, and I'm excited to get to know more of your story, and you should be too. So right off the bat, Patty, I'm going to ask you the question. What was life like before you chose to follow Jesus?
You know, I really gave a lot of thought to this because I was blessed and raised with a godly mom. And so I knew Jesus at a very young age.
Right.
My dad worked afternoons, and so my mom would have prayer with us and Bible study time with us in the evenings. And so not to have God in my life, I don't really remember not having him in my life. But as far as making him leader and forgiver, that happened later on in life. And there were some ups and downs. I mean, you had the valleys and the hills, and then you had the walk away, which there was a while in my life where I made some really poor choices, desiring worldly glory instead of God's glory. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did that look like? May I ask if you could give examples?
Yes, it was empty, numb. I looked for worldly pleasures as far as giving me satisfaction and happiness. And that's the difference. It was happiness versus joy.
Right.
When I put God back into my life and made him my leader and my forgiver, a joy came about and a purpose. There was something more to do, because otherwise it was just day to day. You know, you're raising kids, you're going, if at times in my life I've had jobs, so you'd go to work, come home, you would go back and forth, but there was something missing.
Right.
Something terrible missing.
That's so well put. So when did you choose to follow Jesus and make him your leader and forgiver?
You know, it was off and on. My 30s. My kids, I saw the need for my kids to get back into church. I was seeing that they were having some faltering issues, questioning their choices, and I thought, and they were just little.
Right.
And I thought, you know what, I've got to follow the steps that my mom showed me. I've got to get these kids in church. And at that time, Mike didn't want to go to church. I said, but that's okay. I have to take these kids. And we started going to church, got active, doing vacation Bible school, and having the kids learn Bible verses and stories. And eventually Mike started coming and, you know, asking God to use me. And he did. And always at the inopportune times.
Really?
Yeah, because, you know, you start serving Christ, your life starts going a little bit smoother.
Yeah.
And again, for me, faltering backwards again, and then getting back on the boat. And he was just so patient with me. That was one of the questions that I had on here. What's the biggest misconception with God?
Yeah.
Is that his love and his patience, there is no end.
Right.
And he patiently stood beside me. I know he waited. You know how we wait for our kids to make the right decision. We have to let them make that choice, but we're standing there. I'm here.
Right.
I'm here. Just if you need me, grab on.
Right.
And that's where I hear God. You know, Patty, I'm here.
Right.
Honey, I'm here. Grab on. I got more.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so good. So how has life been after making Jesus your leader and forgiver? Like, how has everything changed?
It's been amazing. Following Christ is really crazy.
Yeah.
If you talk to most people that have the relationship, it's crazy, because all of a sudden your eyes are opened, your heart is opened, you have energy that you don't know where you came from, and if you're tired, it doesn't matter. All of a sudden other people are meaning more to you than yourself.
Right. What has been the most surprising? Like, that is surprising.
Yeah.
Is there anything that God has brought since you've chosen to follow him that you're like, wow, I never thought I would overcome that, or I never thought I would be thinking this way?
Probably seeing him in new dimensions.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing it more and more as I'm older.
Yeah.
I never, when you're younger, you don't want to get old. But when you're older, and maybe it's just me, I am so thankful I'm the age I am.
Mm-hmm.
I am seeing God in ways I never thought I would ever see him. The joy, the beauty, his awesome love, and it just doesn't stop.
Right.
It just doesn't. And it's like, what more are you going to do? I mean, I'm already in awe.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What's the most transformational truth from following Jesus?
Do you know, first following him, and, back when I was a little girl, it was more religion, and there were the rules, and trying to follow the Ten Commandments, and realizing that, man, I'm blowing this. But when I started getting a closer relationship in God and getting into his word and starting to step out on faith and do some of the things he was asking me to do and trusting that he would be by my side, I started seeing more of him that I never fathomed. And now I see him in creation. And it's especially this time of year, but every season, I think that's why I've got to stay in Indiana, is the seasonal changes are so amazing because you see more depths of God. And it's like, how do you come up with this color scheme?
Right.
We were coming home from Pennsylvania, and it wasn't real colorful on the way out. But on the way back, it's like God took out his paintbrush. And he just painted these trees, all different shades of red, orange, yellow, and then mixing some green in there too. It just blows my mind that he speaks to us in so many ways, and how someone can't know him or want to know him just boggles my mind.
Right? What part of your God story? So I know that there are people listening who love the Lord. There are people who might be listening who are on the fence. Maybe they haven't gone all in with Jesus and made him their leader and forgiver, maybe out of fear, maybe out of a discomfort of knowing they're going to have to change. All the things, right? Control, a lack of trust. What would you say to that? Now, being on the other side of it, did you have any of those fears?
Oh, yeah. Because there were things that I thought I was doing was okay. But it really wasn't, because the outside world will look at you as a Christian, and they've got some pretty high standards.
Right.
And realizing some of the places you're going or the things that you're doing are a reflection of God coming through you. And trying to get past that. And it was hard because trying to make it into works then, what can I work-wise do that they'll see Christ for me? And that's not what God's about. He transformed me. And if I can say anything to anyone out there that is, wanting to turn their life over to God, do it.
Yeah.
Because he will transform you in baby steps.
Yes.
It won't be Zam, which I wish it would have been Zam. That would have been so nice. I'd have been great right at the get-go.
Yes,
but I wasn't. But that's part of the growing experience, is that you start seeing yourself. All of a sudden, you look in the mirror, and I'm not that person I was 20 years ago. I'm really not.
Right.
Do I still have a lot of changes to do? Absolutely.
Yep, same.
And so many times, I ask the Holy Spirit, change in me what needs to be changed. And he'll nudge me. And sometimes I don't like that because I'm not ready.
Yes.
Don't nudge me there yet. But he does it ever so tenderly.
Yes, he does. What's the hardest part, in your opinion, and throughout your story, of following Christ?
Well, the hardest part, let me see is that one. I think realizing that no matter what I do, because I'm going to blow it,
I know.
his love is just unfathomable. It just never stops. He just loves and loves and loves. And I was thinking about that when I thought, when we get married and we're on that honeymoon phase right away, and that's like it is when we first accept Christ.
Right.
But then reality sets in, and it's like you're getting to know one another. And so, I'm getting to know God. I'm getting to know a relationship with Christ. And there are some stumbling blocks. But when you really love somebody, you don't just walk away or let go. You stand guard. They might walk away from you for a while, but you stand and you still lift them. And that's where God does. God never, ever has given up on me, and it just shocks me.
Right.
But I'd have given up on me a long time ago.
I feel similar. Yes.
Yeah, I would have.
Yes. So how has your relationships changed with people since going all in with Jesus?
My relationship with people, it's amazing because I have a joy for them that I don't remember having years ago, because it was more about Patty years ago and Patty's life, her children, her going-ons.
Yeah.
Now it's like, no, I know securely where I'm at. I know where I'm going. And I love that God's patience, that he doesn't want anybody to perish, and giving us that purpose, that now sharing that with other people to let them know, golly, grab on.
Yes.
He's a patient, loving God, and he'll gently bring you to where he wants you to go.
Amen. How has your marriage changed?
My marriage has changed so immensely. I have a husband that loves the Lord. Do you know that the other day he even asked me, he says, Patty, I want to study Bible. I said, what? He said, when we go to life group, you make me laugh. When we go to life group, he wants to start participating more. He wants to answer more questions out. Wow. Yeah, a study Bible is such a great thing to have.
Yes. And did he get one, or does he have one?
He's still looking. We're still looking. He wants to check and talk to a few people as to what's the best avenue to take.
Oh, that's awesome. Want to know my favorite?
Yeah.
Is the NLT Life Application Study Bible.
Okay.
It's my favorite.
I'll write that one down because, I want to get that for him.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh, well, thank you, Patty, for sharing your story. And now you have an opportunity to ask me some questions. So what would you like to ask me?
All right. Because I have a couple people in my life that I love very dearly. They're very close to me. And the more I've tried to reach them, the farther they pull apart. And how do I understand that I am not the venue that God chose to reach them? Because it breaks my heart that I have to. He literally has asked me to step back.
Right.
And let go and give them to him. And I tried once. He gave me the example of a tug-of-war rope. And he was there. They were in the middle, and I was on this end, and we're tugging back and forth. And he said, Patty, you told me I could have him. I said, I know, but I want him back.
Yes.
No, let go and give him to me. Then he gave me a devotion where he said, bring them to me and take my hands and put their hand into my hand. And I thought, okay, Lord, I'm giving them to you now. But it's hard because I keep messing up and wanting to grab them back. What do I do?
Ooh, that's a good question. So I can relate to you with different people in my life as well. What I have learned to do is I do a daily surrender. And even not even with, so this specific example, but I'll do that with different things I'm having, tugging. I feel like different seasons, it's a different tug of war.
It is.
It is.
It is.
So for this one with these people, I try to start every morning before my Bible, say, my life is yours again. And I'll list off the things that I feel like I'm trying to tug back, like my control, my fear, my family.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
So every day I recommit my life because he's not going anywhere like you talked about. But I almost imagine, like, he lives in, so before we chose to follow Jesus, he's outside, right? He's always there, like you said.
He's always there.
But I wasn't willing to give up all this stuff to let him in. Now he's in. But I could still hold on to stuff that blocks people from seeing him in me.
Yes.
So I choose to give him things every morning so he's brighter. But also committing to pray. And pray for that. I pray for other Christians. I have some people that I'm like, God, bring whoever.
Yes.
Like, I care. Part of me, my selfish part, cares that it's not me.
Yeah. Let's
be real.
I know.
Yes, but like, God, I don't care who you use. Like, please let other Christians
just
come
rescue
into their
them.
life.
Yeah,
Yes.
send whoever it has to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's what I do. But it is really, I think it's hard, and I think that's God in you making it, because there's a holy discontent with seeing people far from him.
Because you see them hurting, and you just see them, the loneliness in them.
Oh, I agree. Oh, thank you for that great question. Did you have another, or?
Well, the other question is always trying to balance out works and am I doing it for God's glory or am I doing it for Patty's glory? Am I doing this really to further His kingdom or just to give me a notch?
Yeah. How do you discern?
How do I discern?
That's a great question.
You want to do His work, but you want to do it for Him, not for you.
I think that is an excellent question, and I think it almost goes back to when we say yes. Because discerning whether it is something God wants you to do, because when we say yes, we're saying no to a whole bunch of other things. And I think we are.
Yeah.
And I think being prayerful before we make decisions, and I know sometimes people ask and we have that time, but sometimes we're face to face and you ask me something and I feel like, but having the confidence to be, I'm going to have to think about that. Because I know we're a similar personality. We're very much people pleasers. So we want to tell people what they want to hear immediately. And I have learned, and I am not on the other side of this completely, but God has really been helping me. Like, my desire shouldn't be to make you happy at whatever cost. My desire should be to make Him happy at whatever cost. And a lot of times that takes me pausing and saying, I'll have to think and pray about that. Can I get back to you? You know, I really want to. Like, I want them to know I want to.
That is a great growth mark, though, isn't it? Wow. Okay.
Yeah. It's a muscle.
It's a muscle. Yeah.
Yes. So that's great. I just love that we have similar personalities. So
we do.
I feel you on a deep level with your answers in these questions. Oh, Patty, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom.
Thank you for asking me.
Yes.
And I do hope that this helps some others in their walk with Christ, because He is so worth it.
He is worth it, and I really believe that this is going to help others in their walk. And if you are listening, I would challenge you, like she said, to let something go. Well, if you're playing tug-of-war with God, or release a strand of that rope. Even if you can't release it all, like, we want to challenge you to trust Him in all things, and to trust that no matter where you're at in your journey, that He is good and He has never stopped pursuing you. And I want to personally ask you to give at least one thing to Him and see how trusting God changes your life. Thank you for watching today, and we cannot wait to catch you next time. Bye, guys. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to follow us on our other social media platforms. We don't want you to miss out on any future content. Thank you so much again, guys. I hope you have a great day. And I want you to know I am personally praying that your roots stay strong.